Given the history of money, how does blockchain, and more specifically Bitcoin, impact the future of money and people?
Money going digital, especially on blockchain, is probably one of the biggest innovations and advancements of our time. And we've seen that over the past 10 years, the velocity of money has decreased. We know there's a big problem in the banking system. So enter blockchain. Bitcoin is new, but the evolution of money is not. Money's always gotten faster, going from yapstones to gold coins to currencies that are backed by gold to finally fiat, which is unbound, unbacked currency. The problem is that last step lost integrity.
The average American is feeling the pinch of higher prices for shelter, food, education, transportation, and almost everything that is needed to sustain a comfortable living. Enter the age of technology.
The pace of evolution has increased dramatically to a point where it's tough to distinguish between the two, money and technology. In World War II, 43 countries got together and agreed to ship all of their gold across the ocean into the Federal Reserve and issue dollars against it. It was the first time there was a globally coordinated reserve currency in the world. In 1971, Richard Nixon depegged the dollar from gold for the first time since Bretton Woods. Now he did that because he had to deal with a ballooning deficit given the war in Vietnam. Again, wartime finance is driving innovation, and this time, not for the better. By depegging the dollar from gold, he started a full decade of inflation. Inflation is the destruction of purchasing power.
Bitcoin was initially created through a white paper authored by the famous unknown Satoshi Nakamoto. What are some of the use cases, and can you give us your experience in investing in Bitcoin?
The first and most famous transaction of Bitcoin was someone who bought 2 pizzas for 10,000 Bitcoin. Today that equates to about $200 million. The way to look at it very simply is if you take a US $100 bill and you separate the paper from the serial number, where's the $100? It's not in the paper, it's in that serial number. If I can electronically transfer that serial number anywhere around the world, instantaneously, securely, for free, it changes money.
How do we know Bitcoin is here to stay?
If we take a look at the history of the internet, it was invented in 1983 by something called TCP/IP, or the Internet Protocol. That allowed one computer to talk to the next computer. After that became the famous SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, also known as email. Then we had HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol, also known as the World Wide Web. At the time it was the information superhighway. And then we evolved to Voice over Internet Protocol. We've gone to text messaging, and now live streaming changes the way people consume entertainment. All of these protocols evolve, but they don't disappear.
How does this translate into making returns for investors?
Who made money off the internet? The companies that used a free protocol to build up these magnificent businesses. The big winners in blockchain are not the companies that facilitate blockchain, but they're going to be the owners of the blockchains themselves. To put a secure transaction on the internet, you must pay in the underlying protocol of that blockchain. So you have to pay in Bitcoin to record a transaction. Those are the owners of the blockchains, are the one that will participate in the growth of this space.
How should an investor look at this, and where does it fit into a traditional portfolio?
Take the classic 60-40 portfolio. 60% equities, 40% bonds has served the investor for over 2 decades, up until the last 2 years. Adding just 3% of a digital asset like Bitcoin improved your returns over the past 10 years significantly.
How can investors participate in this digital asset wave?
Investing is not easy. When you have a new technology, bad actors appear to try and profit over a new digital wave. We've seen it before, and we've seen it recently in the digital asset space. However, the underlying protocols and blockchains have never been compromised. contact your investment advisor to participate in probably one of the most exciting technological advances of our lifetime.
It's time to take some lessons from the next generation as it relates to principles around investing and diversification. The movement of money going digital is the single most important technological advancement of our lifetime. It's time to participate.